Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is Chapter 8 about managing and evaluating learning. Lesson 8 Course Delivery and Evaluation. The implementation stage is the actual course delivery. The courseware is installed on a server and made accessible for learners. In facilitated instructor-led courses, which integrate content with e-tutoring and collaborative learning components. This stage also includes managing and facilitating learners' activities. Evaluating learning activities is crucial for both self-paced and facilitated online courses. Evaluation allows you to assess learners' progress, the quality and effectiveness of the course, and improve future learning activities and content. Number 1 is the kick-off events. The kick-off events introduce the course goals and agenda. It should motivate the participants and provide an overview of the activities and methods that will be used through the course. This event can be an audio conference or a set of emails, and it can include a video or a podcast message. Number 2 is the pre-course learning activity. An initial learning activity can be proposed to participants before the course officially starts. It is very important that the initial learning activity makes a good impression on participants, since it will be their first experience with the course and will help them decide if they like the course or not. This is also a good opportunity for participants to get used to the online learning platform and for administrators to see if there are any technical problems. Number 3 is the cycle of learning events. The course consists of a series of learning activities that can be scheduled on a weekly or daily basis. Learning activities may include self-study as well as a range of individual and collaborative activities such as readings, watching, and self-study. These can include different types of content such as simple learning resources, documents and presentations, video and audio content, and interactive e-lessons. Number 2, the individual assignments and collaborative project work. The facilitator asks learners to conduct project work or an assignment, either in a group or individually. Learners also may be asked to comment on each other's assignments. Next is the sharing reflections. Learners can comment and exchange ideas about course, activities, or contribute to group learning by sharing their knowledge about a specific domain. Next is the asking questions. Learners can ask specific questions to the facilitator or SME. Lastly, discussions initiated by the online facilitator. The facilitator can ask learners coming from different organizations or contexts to bring concrete examples of how the concepts learned during the course apply to their specific situations. Number 4, the final assessment. Some e-learning courses include a final assessment of learners and some intersperse assessments throughout the course. Assessments can vary. They can consist of a set of questions and or be an evaluation of learners' final assignments made by the instructor. Number 5, the feedback and the conclusion. The last session of an online course usually includes the completion of an evaluation survey that will provide course designers and facilitators with feedback from participants. This is a very useful step as it allows designers to improve the course over time. It also gives participants the feeling that these designers are interested in making the course more effective.
Is the planning and documenting activities. Planning and documenting activities is essential and facilitated in instructor-led courses. Documentation will be used by facilitators as a guide to implement the activities and can be shared with learners at the beginning or throughout the course. So an instructor-led training is a training facilitated by an instructor in a classroom or online setting, usually to a group of people rather than an individual. This type of training provides the learners with hands-on experiences and allows interaction with the facilitator and other other participants or students to discuss and question the learning materials. So this type of training can result into an increased engagement, where a live instructor can help keep the learners engaged. So our instructors can use various teaching methods such as lectures, group discussions, and activities that can cater the different learning styles and keep the content interesting. One is the facilitating learners' activities. The online facilitator is responsible for ensuring that this process is organized, stimulating, and efficient. So the online facilitator should perform these following tasks. The first one is to provide information on tasks, deadlines, and places to upload or download files. A facilitators often deliver learning experiences that someone else designed and developed. Therefore, to become an effective facilitator, you need to consider how the original content should be adapted for your specific students. So, the next one is accompany the students or the participants during their work by checking workflow and individual or group results. Unintentional and throughout assessment of students' learning or in the process of constructing a given task is vital or important because it provides useful feedback to both the instructors and the students about the extent to which students are successfully meeting the learning objectives. The next one is provide summaries at the end of units or phrases. The next one is to answer questions concerning the task, deadlines, or use of learning tools. Questions can stimulate the discussion and creative and critical thinking of the students, as well as determine how the students are thinking. Questions can also help students retain material by putting into words otherwise unarticulated thoughts, and it can also clarify the students' confusion about the given tasks. The next one is motivates participants to produce, reflect, animatedly exchange ideas, and initiate discussion. A facilitator can use multiple indicators, including formative and summative assessment, to evaluate the students' progress and growth as they strive to eliminate achievement gap. Teachers or the facilitators provides opportunities, methods, feedback, and tools for students to assess themselves and each other. Next, ensure links to other partners in the process and organizes the final evaluation of the e-learning event. Then the next one is to personalize the online course, giving pace and rhythm to the learning event. As I've said a while ago, facilitators often deliver learning experience that someone else designed and developed. So if you are asked to facilitate a learning that is not well designed, it is important to just suggest to your students how you could improve it to better achieve desired performance results. So the last one is to he or she has to be available throughout the course and respond questions as quickly as possible so that the participants can proceed their work and remain motivated. So overall, facilitating learning activities of the students carries many advantages for both the teachers and the students. For the teacher, facilitating learning means a more engaged classroom where the students demonstrate that the teacher has made progress in the teaching objectives. This is very rewarding to the career of the teacher. Further, the teacher learns from the facilitating learning. They can learn how to adapt their teaching strategies, how to discard coursework and methods that are not working, learning to quickly adapt to the various learning styles of the students. And for the students, there are even more advantages of the facilitating learner. Students learn how to think critically and question the information and their environment, making them less vulnerable to fake information. So when a teacher, a facilitator, and educational leaders facilitate the learning, they create students who learn how to rationally question things around them. This makes them into more intelligent, critically thinking adults who will go on to make positive adjustment and changes wherever life leads them.
Good morning, everyone. I will be discussing lesson 8.4, which is using communication tools for e-learning. So e-learning activities can be realized by using a range of communication tools, both asynchronous and synchronous. So some of these tools are called social media or web 2 tools because they have a strong social component and allow people or students to work together to create products such as project document. So the most common tools are email-based tools, discussion forums, wikis and other shared writing or editing tools, whiteboard and screen sharing tools, application sharing, blogs, webcasting, chat and instant messaging or IM, and lastly, audio and video conferences. So, I will be discussing one by one these communication tools later on. So first, let me discuss about synchronous tools and synchronous tools. So first, asynchronous tools such as forums and wikis are more appropriate for tasks that require reflection and more time to accomplish. So asynchronous discussions are especially valuable where learners are too shy or lack language fluency to collaborate effectively in real-time conversation throughout the discussion of specific topic or content. So while synchronous tools like chats or audio conferences provide higher social presence. So for example, in a virtual classroom, learners can use chats to offer comments and answer questions during the presentation of a specific topic or content. So um I will be discussing about different communication tools for e-learning. First is email-based tools. So email-based tools allow groups of people to be easily connected or for discussion and information exchange. Specifically, mailing lists are used for group discussions, and e-newsletters are used for one-to-many communication or conversation between one or more participants or members. Next is discussion forums. So discussion forums naman are also called message boards are the primary tool for online discussion. So they allow a number of participants to hold conversations in the form of posted messages. So in other words, participants or students can communicate in different ways by writing comments that remain in the forum for other participants or students who can read and respond to them. So each forum can contain one or more discussion which are comprised of one or more posts and replies. Next is wikis and other shared writing or editing tools. So a wiki is a website which can be edited online. So the administrator of a wiki can specify who can view and edit the site or subsections of the site. So the administrator can make the wiki open for anyone to use and edit. So or restrict editing permissions to registered users. So next is blogs. So a blog, shortened for web blog, is a tool that allows people to share, access, and easily update information without having any knowledge of computer programming. So a blog allows user to easily post content onto a website on a regular basis in a standardized format. So the posted information forms a commentary or stream of frequently updated ideas. So next from blog is next to blog is next is chat and instant messaging or IM. So instant messaging or IM is one of the most popular applications on the web. So it allows two or more people to exchange text-based messages in real time using a web or desktop application. So a group of people can start a conversation online in a space commonly called a chat room. So in a typical chat session, everybody sees all the messages. However, some chats allow a private messaging between two session members or between two person. Next is polling. So instructors or teachers can ask learners to respond to displayed poll, usually consisting of a question and two or more possible answers coming from the students. So polls can be used by facilitator or instructor to collect learners' opinions by asking them to vote on issues and make choices concerning course activities or lessons or discussions. Next is whiteboard and screen sharing tools. So whiteboards allow instant visual communication. They allow instructor to display content and learners to interact with that content or with that specific lesson or topic. Next is application sharing. So application sharing naman lets the presenter or the students to share programs, windows or screens with learners. So learners can watch the presenter's actions and can take control of the display with permission from the presenter. Next is audio and video conferences. So audio and video conferences are audio and video sessions between two or more users or participants at different locations in real time. So they are primarily used for meetings and project updates. So one of the example of audio and video conferences are Google Meeting or Zoom Meeting. So lastly is virtual classroom. So a virtual classroom mimics a traditional structure-led classroom by integrating different types of synchronous tools such as whiteboard, chat, and audio conference or application sharing. So most virtual classroom tools incorporate similar functions, although the screen interface may be different.
Course evaluation. First is evaluation can be done to accomplish specific evaluation purposes. First, you should decide if you want to evaluate the course during the development stage if it is finalized, before it is finalized. Ito yung tinatawag na formative evaluation or assessment, kung saan inaalam ng teacher ang kakayahan or progress ng isang estudyante through questions and answers during formative evaluation or assessment, or do an evaluation at the end of the course to measure its effectiveness or examine a past course to see if it is still valid and can be reused in a new context. Ang tinutukoy dito sa evaluation at the end of the course is the summative evaluation or assessment, kung saan ginagawa ng teacher na matukoy kung ang mga estudyante ba ay may sapat ng kaalaman sa pamamagitan ng pagsusulit, ito ay ang tinatawag tayong quiz or summative quiz. Ang tinutukoy naman dito sa examine a past course to see if it's still valid and can be used in a new context is the confirmative evaluation, kung saan inaalam ng isang guro kung yung isang course ay maaari pang gamitin para sa kanyang panibagong context. Magsimula tayo sa formative evaluation. During the development to improve instructional courses or products, kung saan, halimbawa, kung ang teacher ay nagsasagawa ng formative assessment or evaluation pagkatapos ng aralin upang malaman kung naiintindihan ng mga estudyante ang konsepto o hindi. Sunod ang summative evaluation. During immediately after the implementation stage, to measure effectiveness of education, training, and learning, kung saan ang isang teacher o isang guro ay nagkakandak ng summative quiz, kung saan para malaman niya kung gaano ba, or kung ano ba ang nalalaman ng estudyante, kung sapat ba o hindi, upang ang kanyang course content or teaching strategies ay ma-amend or change or improve. Ma-improve niya ito. Sunod ay ang confirmative evaluation. Sometime after the course has been implemented, to understand if it is still valid or needs to be updated or modified. Kung saan inaalam ng teacher kung yung course content ba or yung specific course ay maaari niya pang gamitin sa kanyang panibagong context or content para sa kanyang pagtuturo. Halimbawa, kung ang guro ay magkakandak ng confirmative evaluation sa pamamagitan ng pagsusulit or pagpapagawa ng portfolio sa mga estudyante.
So, lesson 9 naman is all about learning platforms. So, what are learning platforms? So, a learning platform is a set of interactive online services that provide learners with access to information, tools, and resources to support educational delivery and management through the internet. So, a number of organizations and educational institutions use different or various learning platforms to deliver and manage their learning processes. So there are important features of learning platforms. So first is learning content management. So with the use of learning platforms, it can accommodate learners to create, store, or access to different resources throughout the teaching and learning process. So second is curriculum mapping and planning. So curriculum and mapping planning, learning platforms can be utilized for lesson planning, personalized learning experiences, as well as assessment of the students. Third important feature of a learning platform is it allows learning engagement and management. So learning platforms can be utilized for learner information and progress tracking or monitoring of the students' progress. Lastly, tools and services. So learning platforms can be utilized for forums, messaging system, blogs, and also group discussion throughout the learning process. So learning platforms are usually referred to as virtual learning environments or VLEs, learning management system or LMEMs, or learning content management system or LMCMs. So virtual learning environments or VLEs means it is used to stimulate traditional face-to-face classroom activities and facilitate teaching and learning with a strong collaborative component. While learning management systems naman or LMS are solutions facilitates delivery and management of all learning offerings, including online, virtual classroom, and instructor-led courses. So it automates the learning course and easily delivers training as well as manages learners and keep tracks of their progress and performance across training activities, which reduces administrative overhead or workload. Lastly, learning content management system or LMCMs, it focuses mainly on creating e-learning content or the e-learning topic or specific content. In other words, developers and administrators create content material with the use of learning platforms such as articles, tests, games, video, and small units of digital content or content chunks, which then are rapidly assembled, reused, and tailored into different courses according to the learner's needs.
Good morning. As like what my classmate discussed earlier, learning platform is a set of interactive online services that provide learners with access to information, tools, and resources to support educational delivery and management through the internet. And to be able to effectively manage these platforms, there are a variety of learning management systems we can use or utilize to. Generally, they are proprietary and often learning management systems. Well, the term proprietary adjectively means as property. Therefore, proprietary LMS are learning materials or learning management systems that are owned by somebody, and it is thus required to ask permission to these owners or to the owners before an educational entity like teachers, instructors, mentors, or professors will be able to use such platforms. Because the so-called owners have the licenses over all the material within the platform. Most often, acquisition and utilization of it corresponds with certain amount or costs. Ibig sabihin, you should buy first or register yourself before you can be able to use the ideas, content, and or the material itself in your classes. And even if a teacher has already purchased the management system, they cannot be able to edit or modify its content, the theme, or materiality of the platform. And of course, it also discourages the buyer to share or distribute it to other person or persons. Kaya kung sino lang po ang nakapag-register or bumili ng proprietary LMS, ay sila lang po ang makakagamit nun. Well, rest assured na since these LMS or learning management systems are free of charge, expect that the quality are adequately commendable. Nevertheless, the only thing that disadvantage about this thing is that you have to buy it first before you will be able to use or you can be able to use it. Meanwhile, when we say open source LMS naman or learning management system naman, this only connotes that the system is free of charge. Compared to the previous kind of system, open source allows us to edit or modify its content or the material within the system. Well, some example of these open source LMS or learning management systems are Moodle or Moodle, which is widely used by friends of education. Basically, researchers have concluded that although in present time this has been extended to business settings, but this tool was originally made for education, training, and development environments para tulungan ng mga educators to create online courses. What is good about this tool is that it promotes and helps the friends of education to create courses virtually or online that is collaborative and interactive in nature. The second one naman po is Docebo. Some call it as Docebo. Basically, Docebo or Docebo has 92% customer retention rate, which is very good application for learning management. Perhaps the reason behind of the success is that this allows the users to customize or configure the entire theme of the LMS, making it as an arguably user-friendly and undoubtedly interactive platform. Next one is eFront. Well, aside from this is superb in terms of visual designs, it is also good when it comes to making test questions online. What makes it very good is the fact that this platform is generated by AI or artificial intelligences. Therefore, it is very fast to generate tests. At hindi lang yun kasi you can also create tests simultaneously. Lastly, and most importantly, what this platform has generated is still editable. Of course, it is editable by you or by the user. Thus, this engages both the user and artificial intelligences in making a test, making the material superb and certainly effective for better learning of the students, be it online or face-to-face or offline. Meanwhile, the third or the next example is Dokeos, which can be considered as best learning management system, especially for us who will shift in blended learning. Basically, this allows individuals to connect interactively through video conferencing, and it can also track learner progress. Lastly is LRN. LRN is said to be one of the world's widely adopted open source, and it is said to be a full-featured application for rapid developing web-based learning communities. Why? Because sabi daw, it supports a variety of learning styles. Well, it definitely supports the theory of David Cogg that students now have their own preferred learning styles. Kaya naman this platform is very friendly to all kasi it doesn't only allows the students to learn in traditional structured learning ways, but even other ways of learning which is suited the interests of the students like collaborative and independent learning. So to sum up, proprietary LMS or learning management systems aren't free. Yun lang yung pinaka-basic explanation doon. Hindi libre yung proprietary LMS. Whereas the open source LMS naman po are the opposite of the former. And some examples nga po nun ay Moodle, Docebo or Dokibo, eFront, Dokeos, and LRN, which I have discussed briefly a while ago.
9.4 Solutions for Limited or No Connectivity. Local Area Network-Based LMS. In cases with limited or no connectivity, a potential solution is to run an LMS on a local area network or LAN. In the client-server architecture, a constraint of using this approach is that it requires knowledge of client-server architecture. Number 2, the offline player possibilities for LMS. Offline players are another potential solution in cases with limited or no connectivity. These applications can download and play offline courses, content, and track learners' progress and preferences. Learners can take the course without having to access the internet. Once an internet connection is established, it automatically synchronizes with the LMS and updates data. Next is the M-learning technologies. E-learning facilitated by handheld devices such as mobile phones, palms, pockets, PCs, and personal digital assistants or PDAs is called M-learning. These technologies offer communication channels via email, access to the internet and voice and text messaging. Learners can share lesson plans, exchange advice, opinions and tips, or immediately apply their knowledge, such as in on-the-job and just-in-time training. That's all. Thank you.